All right, welcome back to the Lookout Podcast. My guest tonight is also a man from Whitehall, a former college athlete at Idaho State University, running track, long distance track and field, and also running cross country. Then went on to veterinary medicine to become a veterinarian at Pomona in California, and uh, and now is back in Montana and doing the podcast, fresh off a marathon. Pomona wasn't the name of the college, though, was it? Down there in
No, it was in Pomona, but it was actually a private school. I'm actually check that out. Boom.
oh, right there
Uh,
on the shirt, man. Yeah, we're
yeah,
both
it's
repping
called.
that. I'm
Yeah,
gonna lean back and kind of get my in view a little bit there. It was D2, but I was there. I wasn't really contributing to the track team at MSUB, MSUB, Montana State University Billings, but I was there.
hey man,
Um,
it's legit.
which
But yeah, no, it was called
you're from
Western University of Health Sciences in
Northwestern
Pomona.
University. Gotcha.
Just Western, yeah,
Oh, Western University
yeah.
of. Say it again.
Western University of Health Sciences,
Health
College of
Sciences.
Veterinary Medicine. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but it's a
Yeah, there's a
private
lot going
school.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Yeah, great caps though. Beautiful area, man. Claremont was super cool where you were at there. I was trying to explain to one of the folks I've been working with the military. The military's up here doing a bunch of stuff with the Forest Service, so that's pretty cool. But back to you, my friend. You're on your second marathon that you just completed.
Yeah, I kind of count it as my first one. I did one up in the gravelly mountains, and it wasn't, I don't know, it's just so different. It was on dirt roads and just a whole different ball game at 9,000 feet.
Oh
Uh,
man,
yeah, and yeah, it was just different. It was great. It was like probably, I think it's 3 years ago now. Yeah, and then this was my first ever road marathon. Ran some half marathons and stuff, but yeah, first ever real kind of road marathon. But yeah, two marathons if we're being technical. But
yeah, man, and what a difficult race. I meant to look it up before we got online here, but you know, my degree's in health science, pretty much. Exercise science, health and human performance is what my undergrad is, but kind of the same thing as exercise science. And one of my professors back in the day, we were just talking about sports and a few different things, and he was talking about the percentage of humans in the entire world that complete a marathon. Not just enter, but complete a marathon is really, really small. So, I thought that's pretty incredible, man. That you've done two, pretty much. One
yeah,
proper and one not as proper, I guess, right?
yeah. I mean, still the marathon distance was achieved, but yeah, it's just different. But yeah, I want to say it's like 1 to 2% of the population, honestly, has completed a marathon.
It's pretty small, and it's I've only done a half marathon, so that's my experience with it. And it wasn't that bad. I was in really good shape. I was getting ready to go off to rookie training for smoke jumping, so I was putting the most miles I've ever put in my life, and I
Just
was just
train.
taking it easy. Yeah, I wasn't racing. I just was hitting similar mileage, just under that mileage at the end for my last long run. And you were coaching me on that. You put my program together to for smoke jumping,
That
and
was
you
fun.
suggest you're like, well, you're gonna be right next to half marathon. Might as well, go the distance and see if you can get 13 point whatever in. And so I ended up doing it, and yeah, it wasn't too bad. But I think just after that's the normal wall, right? That people experience when they're doing the marathon.
Yeah, I think people talk about the quote unquote wall being like 18 miles. But I don't know. The marathon is just such a humbling distance. I think it certainly can humble the best of us. The best marathoners in the world get humbled by it and have to drop. Um, so I think it's just a distance that is just hard to cover fast. And to see people do it in incredible, I mean, we've now, there's been a couple guys that have ran the marathon in under 2 hours, which is just unbelievable to me.
What's that mile pace like? 5 minute mile or faster?
No, that's like 4:36 a mile. Yeah.
And for folks listening, I mean most people haven't even ever run that, just a mile flat, right? Like the fastest mile time. I don't even know my fastest mile time because my fastest mile time was really in the mile and a half for rookie training.
That's right.
And yeah, so I don't know, what a flat out mile would have been, but I was cruising and my I think at one point I'd done a mile and a half in like between 8 minutes and 8:30, which is, pretty good pace. But
Oh yeah.
nowhere near. And there's no way I could hold that, right? So to
Mm-hmm.
hold a four, not that I was even close to 4 minute mile pace, but like even to hold it for me to hold a 6 minute mile pace. 'Cause I think my half marathon was more about a 8 minute mile pace. And like I said, I wasn't pushing or anything, but that was only 13 something miles. It wasn't 26 point whatever, right?
Yeah, it's yeah, I just think that that distance is like unlike anything else. And sure, like obviously ultra marathons are a whole different animal in themselves, and those are incredibly difficult too. But something about running a marathon on the road really fast, and just turning your legs over that fast for 26.2 miles is just incredible. And to be able to do it at that rate, it just takes massive amount of commitment, massive amount of I mean, it just takes years of training because you gotta your muscles, tendons, bones all have to become durable enough to sustain that distance, which is not easy, let alone your cardiovascular system needs to catch up. And then you just gotta hope and pray you don't get injured, because you're just tiptoeing that line of getting injured when you're trying to run a really fast marathon, no matter what age you're at. And yeah,
Yeah.
I had that in this marathon. It took me 3 years to run this race. It's been a long time, and I still was just easing myself into it. So it took a long time to get here. So it was nice in that regard to get a
And
marathon done. It's been a
and
long
that's
time.
coming from you who ran D1 track, and cross country. So you're used to putting miles in and you know how to build a program. It's just, you know, you put in that many miles and that kind of consistency and building up to it takes pounding on you even before the race hits.
It does, and I think that's the thing you forget maybe. There was this his name was Darren Jernigan. He was a really really fit guy that I met. He was a Idaho State alumni, just an awesome dude. I think he might have I can't remember what his occupation was. He was always gone for the summer, so I thought maybe it was like Forest Service stuff, but either way, he was a
Oh,
specimen.
maybe.
Yeah, he was just like, and when I met him, he told me one time we were just like having a beer at Goodies in Pocatello one time, and he was like, "Yeah,
Such a good spot.
it's a
Such a spot.
yeah, dude,
Good memories.
so many good memories. Yeah, great spot." And he told me, and I never forgot this. He just said, "The fitness that you have right now, you will be comparing yourself to that for the rest of your life. How fit you are right now." And I don't know, 22. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then he was right though. You still do that, like I still get to training for a marathon, and I'm just like, all I can do is like compare myself to back then, and sometimes that can be a little difficult. You end up getting down a road of thinking you're 22 again, and you're not. You just have to be smart about it, is what I'm saying. But it was just such an interesting thing to hear from him that I never forgot that. Like, yeah, you compare yourself to that best fitness you ever had in your entire life. So I think
Totally.
for athletes and elite athletes, and yeah, you get it too. Obviously, just you got to go easy on yourself as you get older, and you know,
Yeah. Well, we talked about it before too. It's not even so much the age thing where everyone's like, I'm old, I'm too old for this. It's the
oh
fact that when you're a kid, you go from running around the playground, chasing your friends, playing tag, jumping, running, doing somersaults down a hill, like all the things. So your body's building up this durability and this endurance.
yeah,
And then you turn into sports and you do an organized sports for a long time. And then you don't really take a break, and you do get a little beat up and you get some setbacks, but then you turn to adult and you get a job and you have these life things, and that stuff, especially running, goes on pause for a little bit, or else you're just not really hitting the miles or doing the training, or you don't have the trainers, the stretching program. Like that's been one of my big Achilles heels ever since college track is not stretching enough, rehab.
yeah. I mean, I think that's such a good point. And we talk about this all the time. Like people forget that when they were in high school, how much stuff they were doing, how they were on their feet all the time. You're at school from 8 to 3:30 or 4, whatever your schedule is, and you're on your feet all the time. Most people that were athletes were three-sport athletes, and then in the summers you're doing all kinds of stuff. And so yeah,
Yeah,
you're
swimming and hang out with your buddies and
yeah, doing fun stuff like outside of just sports. And I think just the durability component is you just aren't doing the same stuff. You start getting a 9 to 5 job, and you just like go to the job, come home, and then you just like, for me personally, like I just think, oh, I'm just gonna go out the door and hit up a run real quick, and you're 2 miles down the road and you blow your calf out, and you're like, why is this happening? Well, you didn't stretch. You're not taking care of your body in the way that you need to. Stretching, strength training, all that stuff that matters. And you realize, like, man, I wish I would have known this back in the day. I wish I would have
Yeah,
known all the
totally.
strength training, because yeah.
Yeah, totally, man. Just yeah, more tools for the toolbox when it comes to sports. And even I was just thinking as you were saying that too, like all the stuff you're doing as a kid, like riding bikes. Like you're
Mm,
always like going to your buddy's house, which could be a mile away, but you don't really notice it because you're just cruising. You do it all the time, and then you chase your buddy around town or whatever you're doing, and chase your other buddies and have this good time racing each other, and probably built up these amazing quad muscles. And then you
yeah.
put them to work when it comes to sports. And then, I mean, I don't really ride a bike that much anymore. And even though I'm for my age, being 40, I'm probably more active than most folks being the Forest Service. Like I put in somewhere close to 10 miles total today, like one hike I did up the mountain to this Overwatch Trail, which is gaining some elevation, moving pretty at a pretty good clip the whole time. And that was, tickling 9 miles there. And then I did another little trek south by Sula, that was a little over a mile total there, so probably a little over 10 in today. And I don't feel tired or anything. It's just I'm pretty active, but I'm not active in the same way. I'm active in straight lines more, unless I'm
Yeah.
playing hockey. Like I'm not doing the vertical, the side to side, or not the vertical, the side to side, kind of more the horizontal movements, that I used to do when I was younger.
Yeah. It's wild how that stuff does go away. Yeah, that's another good
Lateral,
point.
that's the word I was looking for, not horizontal, lateral movements,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I got you. I get you. Yeah, the lateral stuff is so huge. Yeah, you just like the normal person, the average person's job. There's not a lot of lateral movement. Go to
No,
work, come home, and then if you're not adding the other stuff in, and as you know, with kids and stuff, it's hard when, we're dads. It's you got to get it in early. In this marathon helped me understand that. I learned a lot on this because in order to get anything in, I had to get up early. It was 4:40 in the morning, and then I was starting to get injuries here and there, so I had to drive to a place that was flatter so I could kind of like keep myself from getting a little bit injured, or just baby myself a little bit in that regard. But yeah, if I didn't get it done in the morning, it was not getting done. You know how it is. You come home and family and everything, and you got to
yeah,
take.
you're either doing it at midnight or you're doing it, like I said, early in the morning before anyone else is out. And
That's
it's,
right.
which, it's always a challenge, like time poor, right? Like I heard this guy on Instagram talking about time poor dads, and that goes for time poor parents, right? Like anybody, like moms, dads, everybody who's trying to get something in. And I think our generation's been pretty good about staying active. I mean, there's all these running groups around Missoula and stuff. And I think a lot of us that are still friends from the college era that are still trying to stay in shape. And it's like a lot of it's not even so much for the beach bodies, stay in shape for our kids.
Yeah,
I want to be
man.
able to beat my kids in basketball as long as I can. It's gonna come a day, but like I'm gonna try to put it off a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
gonna
let
give
them
them a
win.
challenge at least.
Yeah, don't let them win. Not
Yeah.
until you gotta earn it. you
Not
know.
yeah, yeah, not until they actually do it. Like I'll give them a win here and there. Keep it interesting, but like yeah, like I still want to earn a little bit. But I want to be able to like turn it on, and be like, man, still got a little bit of wheels in there.
Yeah, it's good. It's encouraging, kind of like what you kind of touched on. I feel like people are just generally more active, and where we live in Montana, people seem to be really good about it. When the days are nice, people are just jonesing to get outside, and they are. And it was funny at the marathon. It's just interesting when you're in a marathon and you're not like trying to run with somebody and you're just in your own zone, but these like people you're running similar pace to, you just kind of like waffle back and forth, like they're ahead of you, you hit a aid station, then you're kind of ahead of them, and it just kind of goes back and forth, and you just see them over a period of time. And this one guy, he finished, and I saw him there at the end, and I was like, hey, good job, man. I was like, he's like, hey, you too, man. How'd you end up? And I told him my time, and he was like, oh man, I know. I was like just behind you, and I don't get it, man. I was like 600th place. I don't understand. These kids are getting fast out here, man. Like everybody's so fast. I'm like, I know, man. He's like, it's awesome though. He had a great attitude. And he was ripped up, man. He just looked like he was a specimen. And he was like, these guys are just getting fast anymore, man. I don't know. Can't keep up. I was like, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, and I was like, I'm a dad. He's like, me too, man. I got 3 kids. I was like, well, keep it up, man. Keep grinding, dude. And that's what I like about running too. Like you run a marathon, there's just so much camaraderie there. Like you meet people like that, and
Yeah.
you're all cheering each other on. And Yeah, it's just a cool group of people, you know.
Yeah, build more of a community, right? And like lifting each other up, it's yeah, it's great, man.
Hmm.
And that I was gonna ask about that earlier too, about the marathon pace, because like you said, you're trying to run your race, especially for 26 miles. Like you gotta set in to what your goal is and what you train for.
Yep.
And even at my older age, I'd have a hard time doing it because I'd be seeing someone in front of me. I'm like, I can get them, you
I
know.
know.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, then like catch them, and like, maybe I'll get them, you know. Like, and
Oh,
start
for sure.
working my way up. And
Yeah.
next thing I know, I'd be running way too fast, and I'd bonk. I'd be like
Yeah.
at 17, and start getting the cockroach body where everything starts to like kind of lock up,
Oh man. Well, yeah. Well, that's essentially what happened to me too. I was feeling really good, and it was nice because it was in Duluth. It was Grandma's Marathon for people that probably know, and it's a wonderful. Duluth is great. I've never been there before, but it was a wonderful town, and the course was really cool. Ran along Lake Superior, and it's pretty much like just a constant like downhill. There's some rolling and stuff, but it's a net elevation descent, and just on a paved road. So you're just cruising along, and coming from Montana from altitude, it was pretty handy cardiovascular wise and felt really good that way. Um, but yeah, just was hitting. Goal was like to run 6:30s or just under, and I was right about on that for most of it. And then I just knew my legs weren't going to take me there. And once I
Oh,
hit the halfway point, I kind of already knew, but I wasn't letting the demons creep in. Wasn't going to let it happen. I just said, no, no, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And then
it's
yeah,
that slow quicksand effect too, right? You feel like
yeah,
a little bit of sand fall loose underneath it, and you're like, you feel that pull, and you're like, nah.
yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, you're like, no, nope, not yet, not today, no. And I kept telling
Hmm.
myself that, like, no, you're good. And the marathon is interesting because even on your best day, at least, well, I don't know. I've ran enough to know that, even on good days, there's some ups and downs where you're like, oh, wait, am I okay? This is a little hard, like, yeah, there's just mentally some ups and downs, even if physically you're not hurting too bad, but there's always some of that. And in the marathon, it's just, you try and fight the hard times, like, okay, get to the good times. And that's kind of how it was until the end. It was like there'd be hard times and I'd just fight through to the good. And then eventually it was just all hard.
Which is
And
all bad.
yeah, it was just all bad. And yeah, just learned a lot, man. It was a great learning experience, because you think about yeah, you reflect on your training, and yeah, I've been running for quite a bit, but I still can learn a lot and how to train, and things are changing. Things are really evolving in the running world. I had a hiatus in vet school where I wasn't running, and then when I came back to it, it was like, holy cow, the shoes have changed, the gear have changed, the fueling has changed, how people recover has changed so much. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Well,
just a different
and
ballgame.
real quick, I think I forgot to mention that you're my little brother. So for folks listening, if they didn't notice the names at the bottom of the screen, that yeah, this is my little brother, and so we grew up together, and been hanging out ever since you were born. But yeah, the fueling thing, right? Like, and then as you age, I feel like you figure out like what fuel works best for your body, right? There's that old book that always kind of stuck with me, was Eat Right for Your Blood Type, which kind of cued me into like eat right for whatever your body enjoys. Like, the blood type thing, I'm not sure if there's any, real science behind it, but I heard it's a good book. I still got to read it. But, I think it gets your brain at least thinking like, what does my body seem to work better on? Because when you're younger, it's just like bread, pasta, whatever carbs. You're carb loading up for the sporting event, and then you just go hit it. Now you get a little older, and you start to feel like this is actually like a brick. It's bread. Now I feel like I got a brick in my stomach.
Oh yeah, yeah. And yeah, the fueling thing, man, it's yeah, yeah, thanks for slipping that in there. In case you didn't see the family resemblance, you know,
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say I should wear a hat, man. Be about the same. It
yeah,
look like a mirror.
that's right. Yeah, except you're better looking, and it's okay. I can say that. I can say that. He's aged like a fine wine. I got some wrinkles
Oh,
up here.
that's all the ash, man. All the ash and smoke. Like
Somehow it's good for the skin.
yeah,
Anyway, yeah, it's like the fueling thing is different, man, and that has changed a lot. And I think that that point actually that you're making, like, figuring out what your body likes too. And it's like we know what generally we need to recover, for like to pre-fuel, like, during activity, all that stuff. But like, it's still unique to you and how your body metabolizes things. And yeah, you just see all this stuff about how guys are training and how they've changed how they fuel during events. Like in terms of like ultra running, these guys are like taking in like so many carbs, like 100 to 200 carbs per hour, maybe more grams of carbs. Yeah, carbs per hour. Like it's just incredible what it's how it changed. It's just cool. I think it's just cool to see it evolve. And like you mentioned, like we're learning so much about like how to fuel and what works for each person's specific sport
Yeah.
and specific body type too,
Well, even the recovery stuff. I remember when I was in college in Billings there, is when I first got into ice bathing, and
Mhm.
mostly because I had to, because I was so beat up, and just, from track and long jumps. I remember like they were, I think like the thought or the science behind it, whatever the recommendation is the word I guess I'm looking for. Whew, it's been a long day. But the recommendation was, shoot for 15 minutes in the ice bath, or at least 15 minutes. But if you can get 20 in, really good. So I remember like sitting in the ice bath for 20 minutes, and I hear people like 3 minutes. I was like,
Yeah,
I don't know. So I don't know what's best, but I felt like a 20-minute ice bath was awesome, and I really enjoyed it.
I know, man. I think that helped a ton. But yeah, it is also interesting. You learn like listen to the Huberman, and you can learn a lot and figure out what is best scientifically. And I don't know, but I'm definitely of the opinion that I am super into science, and I think I love listening to all that stuff that like the Huberman Lab has and any
All the
other.
research, right?
Yeah, I love all the research and how it also helps us understand and learn more. And it's why things are changing in the sports world, just the health world in general. But also, it is just interesting to see to look back and see what we were doing, like, yeah, you just thought like, oh man, yeah, I remember getting in the ice tub and we never got like, we always just went waist deep because it was just our legs we were worried about. We never were like all the way in, above our shoulders. It was just interesting to look back and see what we did. But we had, having all the trainers and stuff too, that was super important and that was a luxury, right? Like,
Oh, such a luxury.
you
Well,
know,
I think I told you this before too. I think it was my second year in track. Is whenever I, like my first year, I guess going to track, I was working pretty hard. But I think going into my second season, I was working even harder in the off season. So I came in beat up because I wasn't really um grading my training, as in like down and back a little bit, pushing really hard, having like different days, like going like having a long day and then having a short day and then maybe having a little bit more of a rest in between, because I got my ass kicked so bad my freshman year in track that I was like, man, I got to do something, man. So all those ass beatings were fueling me throughout the summer. And then I mean, I was coming dead last. So when I got back to the school, we started hammering our workouts, trying to get in shape for indoor track season. It starts late fall, and so we're doing our sprint repeats and all that stuff. And one day I just woke up and I felt like I got hit by a truck, like right about middle back. It literally felt like where a bumper would have hit me. And I'm like, man, I can't figure out like barely could get out of my desk at class that day, and I kind of limped my way into the training room and I was like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if I gotta go to see a chiropractor or get a X-ray. I'm like, it feels like my back's broken. And the trainer went and worked me out. He's like, oh no, man, your hamstrings are just so tight from not stretching, and because my
yeah.
quads weren't meeting halfway right. My quads weren't as strong, so my hamstrings are overpowering while it's sprinting, and it was pulling on my back so that I couldn't move. I could barely stand up, and I couldn't stand up straight because of all that tension. So he's like, dude, you are tired of the bowstring, and luckily he was a big dude. So I had 2 sessions every day, even on the weekends, in the training room, going in and stretching and working out my back and my hammies, and then going sitting on the bike with the seat, at the bottom level to try to get my quads to just work and get my
Mm.
quads to catch up to my hamstrings, which in the end made me faster. But that little period was awful. And if I didn't have the head trainer like check me out, I don't know what I would have done. I wouldn't have been able to figure it out.
Dude, right? Yeah. I think, yeah, That is a whole different deal too. When you start pushing it, and I think you and I are similar. Like, yeah, I not that much talent in terms of like overall when you're like looking at everybody. I didn't have a ton of talent, but I always knew how to work hard, and I could do that. I could go to work and I had the drive, but once you start pushing it like that, you just those little tiny imbalances will show up,
Yeah.
and you'll get some injuries here and there. And that's where all that strength training and stuff comes in, and just being a balanced human being. And I think as we age and get older, it's like people use the term functional fitness, but I like it. It's true. I want to be functional. I want to be able to throw my kid in the air. I want to be able to chase him around, play soccer with them, throw a football, but also, yeah, be able to run a marathon, and yeah, I just think that stuff it's really easy to get unbalanced though. I'm not,
Oh, it's so easy, man.
I'm not perfect. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
and you left out being able to pound the mountains, pound the hills to chase down some elk in bow season. Like
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And that's the thing about running a marathon. Like, and you have to sometimes, if you want to run a really fast marathon, you do have to sacrifice a little bit of weight, and um, I, y- it's hard when you're like wanting to chase elk in the mountains and pack an elk out. You can't really sacrifice that much weight. So that, yeah, it goes right back to functional fitness, being able to be strong still and still run marathons. You see guys out there running marathons fast that are
yeah.
absolutely ripped and strong. And it's like, that is cool, man. I think that is awesome.
Totally. That kind of segues to another thing that we talked about before, and I wanted to give a shout out was oh geez, I'm blanking on his name now. Cam Haynes' kid.
Oh, Truett Haynes. Yeah, that guy's an
Truett
absolute
Haynes.
animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He comes out and just kills a marathon in jeans and then gets the wild hair to try to make the Olympics, which is
Love it.
amazing. And that's part of what I want to talk about for folks who aren't familiar with running in the marathon. It is the most grueling like race. Like so it's a tall order for him to, take on, but man, he is a hard worker and I have faith in him and I'm really rooting for him because and I just want to bring it up to show the commitment that he has to that, and he's doing well. I think his last marathon was pretty fast. He's knocking some time off and I really hope he makes it, man, because that'd be a hell of an achievement.
Oh man, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Those guys are inspirational. His dad, Cam Haynes, like I
Yeah,
think
especially his dad too, right? Like I'm not even sure how old he is, but like I'm loving that he's just out there crushing it.
yeah, I want to say he ran a marathon in like 2:38. I think he's like 55 to 60, somewhere in there, which is just absolutely incredible. And then, yeah, Truett's journey. Yeah, man, like go for it. It's awesome. Like sky's the limit for that kid, or man. Like he's just
He does, but
absolutely,
yeah, he's a man.
yeah, he's a man. He's definitely a man. Yeah. But he's absolutely crushing it. And yeah, you know what? Like the other thing is like it's so important in life, I think, and to just pick a huge, massive, potentially scary goal and go for it. So what,
Yeah,
man? Who cares? Like
I
you're
was
gonna
gonna
learn
say
a lot along the way.
yeah, take a swing, and like
And
if he gets close, man, awesome. If he makes it, even better, right?
yeah.
Like if he makes it, incredible. It's so cool. And then the odds are stacked in your favor because I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you know more about this. But most Olympic long distance races are slower because no one wants to blow their wad, as it were, or go out and empty the tank too early, and then not have a chance at the end. So they're kind of slow out the gate, aren't they?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. If you look at any of the um mostly longer distance 5K, 10K, 1500 for sure too. 800, you don't see it as much, but absolutely in those longer distance races, guys, it's a tactical race, which is just so interesting. And I've watched those races, yeah, like my whole life, and just seeing what happens, like all the way to get there. These guys are pushing it. They're setting incredible records, fast paces, to get there
Yeah,
and qualify. And then
some of
once
the
they get,
fastest times in the world, right?
yeah,
And then
some
they
of the
get
fastest times in the world
yeah,
to get there and qualify. And then it becomes an absolute chess match. And these guys are just like all in just a large mass in the front, just jockeying for position left and right until sometimes it's the last 800 meters, sometimes it's the last mile. They just go after it. But it's crazy how it changes the dynamic of a race, too. You let these guys that are really just naturally have raw speed and maybe don't have the top end endurance fitness that another guy has, you let them into the race and they could potentially steal a quote unquote steal a race because of their raw speed and them being in the race at the end, you know. It's just wild. It's very interesting to look at and see those Olympic races and see how the dynamics of the race and strategy change in the finals, you know.
Totally. Yeah. And they're all, it's hard to say because they're all super tough. Because, like, to be a long distance runner, you have a pain tolerance that a lot of people don't possess. You know, like probably most females who have given, birth to a child possess it because that's tough. Like, those are some tough women. But, like, for most folks, man, who don't run long distance, they don't know that kind of pain that, like in John Hovney words, the pain cave that you have to crawl
Yeah.
in and not just visit. Like, you're in there, man. Like, you're deep in that pain cave, especially in a marathon for hours, literally hours. And
Yeah.
that's a different mental toughness, man. And but there are some outliers like Billy Mills, who is super
Yeah.
tough as that good finishing speed. So what was it, the 10,000? Is that what
Yeah.
he won?
Yeah. Yeah. 10K. Yeah. 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 That was awesome. That's an iconic race. If you haven't looked at that on the internet, type in Billy Mills 10K Olympics. I think it was 1964 and like it was in like Tokyo or something like that. He just absolutely comes from behind, weaving through people that they're lapping and like steals the race and wins it. And the announcer's absolutely going nuts. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool. The joy in Billy Mills' face, dude. It still gives me goosebumps, man. Like, what a
Yeah.
race, dude. Like, I'll never forget that. That race will live on forever.
It's incredible. Yeah, if you're just having a bad day, watch that. It'll cheer you up. It's a fantastic story of just an underdog story. Yeah, really cool. And his story and his journey is actually amazing too. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he served in the military and he had the crew cut in the race, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's the distance running thing. It's a whole different animal. It's just
yeah,
like so mental, you know, that people don't. Some people maybe
totally.
that aren't runners don't realize how mental it is. But I mean, it's like a lot of different things when, you know, when you went through rookie training and you're going on those rucks, it's got to be similar. I've never done anything like that, but it's got to be similar, you know?
Yeah, it's just like not even having the thought of quit in your brain. You
Yeah.
just keep pushing, like it doesn't matter. And luckily I got some good mantras from like you and Bronson and Deshaun, like a lot of long runs I did with Deshaun, and he'd be just right next to me like, too easy, baby. I do this all day.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, man. And I just, get that mantra going. I hear his voice in my head as I'm like cruising, on these long days, like, man, I'll do this all day. And then yeah, but like last thing I have to say about Truett too, like to wrap it back around, I think he's
Yeah.
got a really good chance if he gets in the Olympics. I think he's got a really good chance of winning gold. And a lot of people, probably experts, would say no because they look at him that he's not like the runner, like hype, I guess, like
Mhm.
and he doesn't have the experience, but he's got more grit than most humans on this earth. I mean, he's got the pull-up record,
Yeah.
and that alone shows that he's got a good chance.
Yeah. I think that mental fortitude um, can take you a long way. And I think he's got obviously almost unparalleled mental fortitude and toughness. Um, but genetics will definitely take you further. But he's obviously got good genetics too. He's got some raw talent, and who knows? Like, no, and that's the thing is, I don't even think he knows what his ceiling is, which is awesome. It's exciting,
Yeah.
because I think if I remember this correctly, um, in reading Cam's book or something that Cam had put out, it talked about he was saying how Truett didn't even like running and that he kind of wanted him to be a runner and told him that he should be and he didn't, and now he's kind of circled back around to it, and that's why he doesn't even know what he's capable of, which is awesome. So go
Yeah.
get it, man. I love it. I love it.
Oh, 100%, man. And he does come from a running family, right? I think you were telling me that they
Yeah,
would run was it like a turkey trot every year or
yeah.
something like that?
I think they did. Yeah,
Yeah, like like what was Cam saying? Like the kids hated it, hated it when they were young and didn't really want to do it. Now they're like looking forward to it every year.
yeah. I mean, running is not a glorious sport. Let's be honest. When I was in college, the the female athletes weren't jersey chasing runners. they were not.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah,
Unless they
yeah,
liked really nice calves, maybe.
yeah, totally, man. It's like someone could run like the wind for hours.
And you could basically fit them underneath a door. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're looking for lightweight, like long road trip kind of material, like you don't have a
Exactly.
lot of weight in that seat next to you, save a little money on gas.
Yeah, we're right up your alley. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'll take up
No,
a lot of
it's
space.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
man.
it's just that's what and that's just what yeah, I think I mentioned that because that's part of what's cool about it is it's not like super glorious. So people aren't in it for that most of the time. It's a lot of and some people just think you're crazy, like and which is also cool because there's tons of stuff that other people do that I'm like that is crazy. So it's yeah, it's just funny that way. Actually, my buddy Ty Nelson, he was there's like this app that you can like follow the runners in the marathon on, and apparently you can like send them cheers through their headphones. Most people like have their phone on them or whatever, and you can like they can send you a cheer and you hear it in your headphones while you're running, which is cool. That's like awesome technology.
That- That's
And
cool.
and I did not have my phone on me. I was like, I don't know. I never got into the mute. I don't know. A lot of people run with music. I just didn't. And I used to joke that I just like to run unplugged, but I don't know. I like it. And people think that's weird. And he was like, "Hey, did you get our cheers? We were trying to send you cheers." I was like, "No." And he's like, "Wait, you didn't get our cheers?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Wait, you didn't have music in for 26.2 miles?" I was like, "No." He's like, "What is wrong with you? Are you like Jeffrey Dahmer? What's going on with you?"
You're like a psychopath here, man.
Yeah, are you some sort of psychopath? You didn't have any music the whole way? But yeah, I don't know.
But
It's
I think that's good though, right? Like a meditation in itself, you get to go like kind of
that's it.
inside a little bit, man, and take in your scenery a little bit more, and also
Yeah,
like keep from getting run over because run the rural roads that we did. I'd be out in like Waterloo, and it's a gravel, so you'd hear it coming, probably over headphones, but just make sure you don't get ran over. When I have the headphones in, and just do some exploration on little soul searching while I'm out there, running around.
for sure, man. I don't know. It keeps you in touch with your body. And I just when you when you're pumping some Eminem in your earphones, it's easy to get really carried away and get excited and just rip off a fast mile and be like, "Oh God, what did I do?"
Yeah.
Um,
You look like till I collapse in the background, just like
that was
driving you.
exact song I
Yeah.
was thinking, dude. Yes.
Oh my God. Good for working out in the gym. I don't know about like for, like you said, if you're trying to set a pace for a long distance, I don't know. Maybe.
Sometimes, yeah, it just gets you too jacked. But I think, yeah, I'm not one to, I don't, other people it works for. So right on, man. That's cool. Like,
Yeah, I'm in the
yeah,
mix. I've definitely done some runs like when the Apple iPhone or the Apple Nike watch came out. It was like the Apple 2 watch or whatever. You could download music onto it without having to bring your phone with you.
which is
And so
awesome.
some longer runs I do that, and I'm catching my miles, my heart rate, listening to some tunes. It was kind of nice. Oh, and to the loop back to turkey trot or huffing for stuffing or whatever. Was it turkey trot in Bozeman? Do you know?
Huffing for stuffing.
Huffing for stuffing. Yeah, I remember I was, fresh off my rookie year and I was going up to grandma's, to meet everybody. And but the race was going in Bozeman and Deshaun was there. And I think
Mhm.
a few other people that we knew were going to run, probably like Sarah Jackson, a few of the folks from there. And I'm like, man, I'm in pretty good shape. I'm still fresh off my rookie season. I'm gonna go jump in this thing. And there's different turkeys. I found out I was in the 5K, and there's a 5K turkey, and I think there's different age turkeys. So like, if you catch this turkey, you get a mug or something or T-shirt. I can't remember. I think it's a mug. And so I'm like not thinking about this turkey. I'm trying to put it on my brain. I'm like, I'm just here to finish. I'm here to have fun. I just want to go, get some miles in. And this dang turkey shows up in front of me, like about a mile in or so. But I didn't realize, or maybe it was halfway through the 5K, but it was wherever the 10K spilled in. So it was a 10K turkey. So he was moving. And I had already passed, I think, the 5K turkey, but I was trying to catch that damn 10K turkey. And he was way out there when I first saw him. And I was like, oh, man. And at first, it's more of an idea. I was like, I think I can get him. I started cruising, turning up a little
It's like
bit.
wearing a
Start
turkey outfit.
Yeah, we're a turkey outfit. Yeah, these runners, and they're like good runners. They're not just like me. So they're out there cruising at a pretty good pace. But also, I think the reason why I was able to catch him is because I was only doing the 5K. He was doing a 10K, so he was slowing down a little bit towards the end there, and I was turning it up. And you
Yeah.
come through. At least this is where the finish line used to be at Museum of the Rockies. And I
Yep.
come through the finish line, and they try to hand me my stuff, and I just keep blowing through because like I'm going to the jackleg fence on the other side because I'm holding back, I'm hurl, and I'm holding it in, and I didn't, but man, I was. I was calling out some dinosaurs for a hot sec, man. I was letting out some bellows because it was, dude, it was right there. But that stupid turkey got me fired up. I was like, I got this thing, you know?
That's
Oh,
awesome. It's funny, yeah. It's just wild what you can do and you don't even realize it, and then something like that can really motivate you and bring out what you didn't realize you had in you. And sometimes it's the damn turkey,
oh yeah, man. Well, not yeah, pushing it too hard. I was just going out for a chill morning race. That's cool because it's first thing in the morning. You go out, get this cool run in, then you go, meet up with the family, help prep some food, get this big meal going, and you kind of earn your Thanksgiving dinner a little bit. It just feels a little better. And so I was riding this awesome wave, man. I was pumped to see all these people that went to college with, run the race, beat the turkey. Don't even have a trophy because I was so worried about like puking on the finish line that I didn't go back for my mug. I just kept cruising out the gate and I think someone asked me if I got my mug for beating the turkey, and I didn't go back for it.
It doesn't matter. You got it up here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know it up here I won. That's
Yeah,
all that
it's
matters.
fun to do that stuff, man. I don't know. Yeah, that stuff's just really fun. Like my buddies and I in college when we were running, we used to do like a Thanksgiving long run, and it was just kind of a fun thing where you just hit up your long run on Thanksgiving, so then you can just go pig out and eat as much turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy as you want, and feel okay about it,
Yeah, a little more guilt free. Not that I felt that guilty about it before, but I just feel better about earning it a little bit.
Oh, feels real good, man. Yeah, it was the best, and some days it would be snowing and some days it'd be beautiful out. You just never know what you're getting on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, 100%, man. Well, before we wrap this up, man, what's next? You more marathons in the future, or what you thinking? Ultras?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So the goal in that one was I wanted to get the Boston qualifier, missed it. It's like 2:55. Well, technically it's 3 hours and I ran 3:03 because I lost her there at about mile 18. But I learned a lot. I didn't get to train much. It's been a long journey. I had a stress fracture, I had knee surgery. So it's been a long 3 years to get back to this. And I haven't quite built up the durability portion of it yet. So, which is great. You learned. I finished the marathon and I was proud of that. And my son was there. He ran a little race and he won. He rubbed that right in my face. So that was
Oh
like,
man, he didn't
Dad,
just
I won
win.
that
He
race.
just
Why didn't you? I was like, oh yeah,
well, he
yeah.
didn't just win. He destroyed everybody. That wasn't even close.
Oh man, it was so fun watching him run. It was cool. But
Yeah,
yeah, it was a journey to get here, and I didn't get to stack the training that I had hoped. But yeah, not finished yet for sure. I'm looking for the next one and going to see about getting some more durability under my legs and chase another marathon. Want to get that Boston qualifier at least, and goal's
yeah,
been sub 250. So get back in that kind of shape. So I don't know. I think the next marathon I toyed with maybe doing one in the fall, but I just think that's a little too early. So, um, and we're in the middle of trying to open up a new vet clinic in the next year. So, just yeah, life, man, being a dad, there's a lot going on, but I would love to do maybe a spring or early summer next year marathon and have some real good training underneath me and take another shot at it. I'm definitely going to take another shot at it. It's just where. So maybe spring 2027 or early summer 2027 probably is what it's looking like. But I might get a wild hair and do something in the winter. So we'll see.
yeah. Go somewhere in the winter at sea level.
Yeah, that's it, man. Yeah, and yeah, maybe go do like a half marathon that doesn't wreck you as much as the full marathon. But there's just a lot to learn in the marathon. I'm just so yeah humbled by it, man. There's just between the fueling and when I was in college, it was just like I don't know. You're in good shape enough that you can go run a half marathon and not really worry too much about fueling. But that full marathon, you cannot get away with not fueling correctly. And so yeah, I learned a ton in that. So just back to the lab, man, and yeah, just, all gas, no brakes, gonna get it.
Yeah, yeah. Only get one spin on this earth, right? Like one go around, right? Like multiple spins, I guess, but only one full trip, in this life. So might as well get the most out of it. Take these big swings, like you mentioned earlier, and yeah, keep pushing it. Right on, man. Well, we'll keep too late, dude. We both got to work tomorrow. So thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for joining me. We'll have to do the next one in person.
Thanks for having me, man. You've had some good people on. I feel like I don't quite fit the bill, but I appreciate being on, man.
No, you're dude, you're getting after. You're right in there, man. Right in with the best of them. Yeah, I've been pretty lucky, like having you and a bunch of good folks on, man, that are doing stuff in life and just getting after and just being good humans, man. That's the biggest thing, you know.
It's awesome, man.
You
It's
know.
cool to see what you're doing on here, and it's really growing. And yeah, I wore your T-shirt out in the Midwest after I came back, and people were very interested. They thought it was real cool. So it's good to see what you're doing, man. Love it. Keep it up.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, we're spreading a little bit. Thanks for helping spread the word. We'll catch up with you a little later, man. Thanks for coming on.
All right, man. See you later.
Later.